As a new day dawns, I awaken and I drive towards Valentia Island. I felt like I had reached to the end of the world. The vast plains of Valentia where ancient travellers left in sorrow, never returning. A great wind and hunger still lingered here in the shadow of the mountains close to the ocean. I could feel it within. I climbed upon a small, fleshy outcrop of dirt. On it was a mound that had the cross of the ancient traveller St. Brendan upon it. I stood there, and I could only see the grey, pale distance, no boats or people. Here St. Brendan might have stood and decided to leave these shores into the unknown, to the edge of Europe, alone, standing against the rain and the storms. The grass blew like an army here. You could hear its veil of green shoots covering the Valentia plains, moving like the tides. I felt so mortal here, yet unafraid. There was a sense of death in the heart, and in the lungs, a feeling of pure essence. The mists grew around my feet. My breath drew in deep swathes of pure air. I could feel all of Ireland behind my back, the culture, the pain, the beauty, the simple, resonant life of a nation pulsing quietly in the winds. And I was at the centre, and it was full of longing. Time, its place in our lives, ceased here. Valentia was a great, vast universe of emotion, and my ancestors sang out. They were here once. They lived. They ate off a barren landscape. They fed from the rivers that bore the salmon here. This is the end of Europe. This is the beginning of time, the beginning of Ireland, and I felt it. I could feel the weight of America pushing itself against our small, wounded island. I had once looked from American shores to try and see this mirage of Ireland from afar. I could see a storm cloud moving in. I stayed to watch the fields of Valentia drowning in the rain. Small white forks of lightning began to appear all over the sky. I felt the first of a billion drops. My coat, my eyes, my mouth and body filled with water. The rain was warm, coming in powerful sheets over the shore. The waves broke open and lifted like an army of white angels. Their power smashed against the crest of the shore over and over again. I let it rain down on me, and all my memories, the very idea and essence of my journey. I let the rain run down my arms and the rivulets down my feet and out towards the ocean again, and the thunder roared. God, or the voice of millions, spoke in that sound. And the lightning turned in purple sheets, flashing over the ocean. I seen a hare run into its burrow, and I watched the gulls folded their bodies and they hid inside the cliff. I seen a farmer and his dog took the old road home. All across Ireland the rain fell. It fell for all that is wrong, and the rain fell for all that was done to us, and the rain fell for all of the millions that broke under the weight of her master. The rain fell. For the ones who sinned, the rain fell, to be reborn again. I turned to the ocean, to walk near it, into the madness of it all, my birth, my journey, my life, and the lives of others all washed away and renewed. And in this moment I could have died, and in this hour and second, where God prowled the land with his thunder looking for vengeance, I could be taken away, I stood finally at the edge of this island, reshaped amongst my own again. I was soaked from head to toe and I smiled. The blood and the rain of Ireland merged. The cities and towns and births and death folded into one another. I took my shoes off, I took my coat off, I took my t-shirt off and stood, half naked to the world, and the rain lashed my skin. The thunder grew so close, it was almost whispering in my ear. The ocean drew me close to her, and in the distance I could see a small boat tossed and turned by this enormous storm and its power. It was like the world was shaking me apart, breaking me open like a crystal to spill me awake. A new death and a new beginning, and as I was born, so I became again. And as I stood, and I let the blood fill my ears with the sound of nature and death, the clouds abruptly broke apart, the waves shimmered wild and silver and blue and grey like a dream. The storm abated, and my lament subsided, and I wept. Not the tears of a child, but the tears of someone who longed and could finally let go and remain. I thought of my own parents, I thought of those I'd yet to meet, I thought of the magnificence of all that I could see with my own eyes. I looked behind and knew the way back. I took my clothes and sat for a while in the grass, looking at the ocean, and laughed at my own body. Scars from life, and the air was pure, like the rain had stolen my darkness away. I put on my clothes and stood at the shoreline, and the waves were soft again, and I felt like I could breathe for the first time.